So what we're going to talk about is current state of the industry, how people are actually already working. We're going to talk a little bit about why you might want to use BIM 360 Plan. What are the problems that people are having that this actually solves and helps people? And a demonstration of the service, both from a regular website as well as from an iPad. Construction productivity, essentially where we are today with things. Now, as it is, from looking at research done by the Construction Industry Institute, what we're looking at is the productivity in today's construction is honestly not as good as it should be or as much as we'd like it to be. And a lot of this is actually just due to the nature of construction. It's not like manufacturing where we're making the same widget over and over again. Every project essentially is a custom project. There might be aspects of it that are consistent, but we're still doing things different each time. The problems that we run into, though, is that of the time that we spend on a project, we're really only being fully productive about 40% of it. Some of the times we're waiting, whether that's waiting for new information, whether it's an RFI or a change order. We're waiting for somebody else to finish what they were doing so that way I can come in afterward. Whether it's I need somebody to finish putting in the electric or the piping before I can, close up the wall, or other requisite work from the design trade even. Materials to show up, different equipment or tools or expertise to be available on a project. Say there's one delay, that pushes people off onto a different project. Now we have to wait for them to be available to come back. Unnecessary movement kind of ties into that waiting. Maybe you're constantly moving materials around a tight job site just because you're not ready for it yet, but you needed to order it early. Same thing for the material handling, and then rework if there's mistakes. And a lot of that ties into a 26% amount of manufacturing waste. So not the most efficient from a standpoint of time or materials. The thing is, construction teams are actually getting much better. And if we look at this, we can actually see how construction compares to non-farm labor in the U.S. This is a standpoint from 1964 to 2003, and we can see how construction productivity has actually decreased, not by a lot, but it actually has continued to decrease while most other productivity outside of farming have actually gone up a lot. And a lot of that has to do with the application of technology, whether it's robotics, streamlining automation. They're using that. And that's partly what we're going to be looking at today. Now, for most projects in construction, we're looking at how we plan. So a lot of the problems that people run into is they make up a great long-term plan. We have a 3-year project. We're starting today. We're planning the whole thing out, and we're planning 3 years ahead. Now, as Glenn Ballard actually puts here, he's actually the inventor of the last planner system. That's one of the poll questions I asked earlier. Basically, that any planner forecast is always going to be wrong. Not for lack of trying expertise. It's hard to actually gauge what things are going to come down the pipe. And the farther ahead you look, the more opportunities there are for things to go wrong. So essentially what they propose there is having your long-term plan, but have it be more like bullet points. We're going to try to do this here, this here, this here. But as we get close to the work, that's when we go into really great detail. Essentially for the short-range production planning, we look at is we have our master schedule. So this is our high-level overhand, if everything goes right, this is what should be getting done at this point in time. From there, we start to break things down. So we got our pull planning. We're going to say, okay, well, this phase, we're going to be doing this. Now, what are the things that could go wrong here? We're looking at all of our roadblocks. We're trying to sort of worst-case scenario plan our project, determine all the things that we have to worry about and identify them. So that way we can actually put together our look-ahead plan. So where are our roadblocks? What do we have to deal with? Okay, well, first we need to get these approvals. We need to get these permits. We need to get this material ordered. So we take care of that, and then from there we start to actually put together our work plan. We have everybody on the process actually commit to not what they'd like to get done or what's scheduled, but this is what will get done this week. And then from there, we have our daily check-ins, and we go back and around. We always review what actually did get done, and then update the plan as needed. Now, part of this is ensuring that everybody is on the same page. Everybody is aware of what everybody else is working on, so that way, if something does run into a problem, everybody else can actually adjust and work around that. Now, a lot of the problems that people have when they're looking at production planning is missed commitments from other people. If there's something that goes wrong, it could erode the fees. Most of the collaboration on a project typically happens at the very beginning. Everybody's all happy, they're excited, we got time, we're focused on this, and then things start happening, and everyone's just hammering to get things done. So the collaboration tends to fall off. So you have to make sure that everybody is still engaged throughout the whole process. Another problem, this is more of a management thing, is that some contractors are going to prioritize their own goals over the actual goals of the project. So that'll the age-old problem of the individual over the team. And then lack of communication. So again, making sure that there's something that can help every partner on that project communicate and be dependent on everybody else, but also work interconnected with everybody. And then metrics are another big one. So actually being able to understand what's happening and be able to figure out, okay, well, where are our problems coming from? How are we running into issues? And how can we actually avoid these going forward? So these are some of the problems that we're running into in the construction industry from a planning standpoint. And then we're going to start looking at how we can actually fix some of these things.